So I say to you, good afternoon and welcome one and all. On behalf of the Otis Civilian Advisory Council, I welcome everyone and say how honored we are to have you join us as we conduct our 58th annual Memorial Day program. My name is Doug Tierney. I'm the president of the Otis Civilian Advisory Council. Thank you for being here with us this afternoon. We're excited because it's the first time in 3 years it's not raining. Your presence today at this ceremony, it may stir memories of past years, of stories of old friends, family, loved ones, grandparents, colleagues. They were doing their job, yet never returned home safely. And our program today observes military protocols and pageantry. We will hear comments and speeches, seek spiritual strength and guidance. Listen to patriotic songs sung by young voices. Ceremonial wreaths will be placed at 5 stones, followed by a command to honor the people remembered in this park and in all the military cemeteries in the country. After that, the sounds of taps, followed by the cry of a bagpiper. Please rise, if able, as the Honor Guard of the United States Coast Guard presents our colors, and remain standing as the Bourne Middle School Select Choir, under the direction of Charles Baird, with accompanist Jonathan Weir, sing our national anthem. And this will be followed by Air Force Chaplain Henkel Miranda's invocation. To our color guard.
Colors detail, mark time, march. Colors detail, left face. Colors detail, forward march. Colors detail, mark time, march. Colors detail, left face. Colors detail, halt. Colors detail, present arms.
Chaplain Miranda, thank you.
Colors detail, mark time, march. Colors detail, right face. Colors detail, forward march.
afternoon. Please join me in a moment of reflection. Feel free to bow your heads and close your eyes if the Spirit moves you there. Prophet Isaiah heard a voice ask, "Whom shall I send, and who will go for us?" And without hesitation, the answer came, Here I am, send me." Across every generation, men and women of this great nation have answered that same call. Airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guards, and Guardians stepping forward when others could not. Serving across every branch, every rank, and every corner of the earth, may a spirit of grace and peace safeguard the hearts and minds of all who currently serve. Strengthen them, sustain them, and remind them that their sacrifice is seen and deeply honored. To those who have passed, may they rest in eternal peace. The courage was not lost. Their service will never be forgotten. They gave everything so that others might have a chance. To those they left behind, may they find comfort and healing, and may this nation never forget that families also bear the cost of freedom. We stand here today because men and women chose to serve, not for glory, but for a chance for the people they love, for a future worth building, and for a life worth living, for those who come after them. If the ultimate price must be paid for that chance, let it never be paid in vain. We remember, we honor, we are grateful. Amen.
You may be seated. Thank you to the color guard. Thank you to the Bourne Choir, and thank you, Chaplain Miranda. I now call upon our former past president, Kathy Johnson, to introduce the command officers and invited guests today.
Good afternoon. It gives me great pleasure to introduce the past presidents of the Otis Civilian Advisory Council. When I call your name, could you please stand? John Sousa. Bonnie Descartes. I'd like to introduce the following officers. When I call your name, please stand. Colonel Matthew Porter. Colonel Nicole Ivers. Colonel Michael Kelly. Commander Matt Mothend. And of course, our chaplain, Hinkle Miranda.
Thank you, Kathy. Next up on our agenda is our new Joint Base Cape Cod Executive Officer, and he's also going to say a few comments. And he has a surprise for us today. We have a bonus, if you will. We have a bonus. I would now like to introduce Colonel Matthew Porter, and if you come up, and then he'll say a few words.
Good afternoon. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, service members, veterans, families, and friends, welcome. Today here at the Otis Memorial on Joint Base Cape Cod, we gather with a shared purpose to remember. Memorial Day is not simply an unofficial beginning of summer, not merely a long weekend on the calendar. It is a solemn national obligation, a sacred pause, to honor the men and women of our armed forces who gave their lives to this nation. And here at Joint Base Cape Cod, that remembrance carries unique meaning. This installation has long stood as a place where the Joint Force comes together in service to something greater than ourselves. Soldiers, airmen, guardians, Coast Guardsmen, Marines have all trained here, deployed, served, and sacrificed from this very ground. The missions may differ, the uniforms may differ, but the commitment remains the same. Duty, service, and a willingness to stand in harm's way for the American people and for one another. Today we recognize the sacrifices made across every branch represented here. And we remember not only those who never returned home, but also the families who carried the burden of that sacrifice long after the battlefield fell silent. Few places in New England are more deeply connected to this legacy than Camp Edwards and the storied Yankee Division. The 26th Infantry Division, the Yankee Division, holds a proud and historic place in our nation's military history. Formed from a National Guard units across New England, the division answered the call in both world wars and became synonymous with the courage, resilience, and sacrifice. Camp Edwards served as a critical home and training ground for generations of Yankee Division soldiers before they deployed into some of the most consequential battles in modern history. Those soldiers were citizen warriors in the truest sense. Teachers, laborers, students, fathers, sons, neighbors, who left behind ordinary lives and stepped forward when their nation called, and many never came home. Their legacy remains woven into the fabric of this installation and into the history of the Massachusetts National Guard. But before I introduce our keynote speaker, I would also like to recognize the enduring support and dedication of the Otis Civilian Advisory Council. Their tremendous work in this in organizing this annual event year after year reflects a deep and lasting commitment to honoring those who served and sacrificed. Through their efforts, memories of these men, women, and families are preserved with the dignity and reverence they deserve, ensuring their legacy is never forgotten. Today's keynote speaker will help us better understand that history and the sacrifices made by the soldiers of the Yankee Division and why their example continues to matter today. It is now my distinct honor to introduce our keynote speaker, Mr. John McGaugh, who will share the reflections on the history, service, and enduring legacy of the Yankee Division.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is John McGaugh. I'm the historian for the Massachusetts National Guard, and as Colonel Porter was saying, I'm going to be going over a little bit about the history, a brief history of the 26th Division, Yankee Division. With the outbreak of World War I in 1917, with the United States joining that year, the War Department organized the 26th Division, Infantry Division. And Major General Clarence Edwards, who's commanding officer of the Northeastern Department, assumed command later in August of 1917. And he commanded that division, the 26th Infantry Division, until he was relieved in October of 1918. Now, the name Yankee Division was coined by correspondent Frank Sibley of Boston, and it became accepted by everyone as time went on. And he was later with the 26th when they were in France and documented a lot of the experiences the 26th went through. General Edwards was a brilliant administrator, and because of this, he was able to procure ships from the USA and Canada to ensure the 26th was one of the first divisions in Europe. Upon arrival, the 26th was trained by the French forces in trench warfare and placed under command of the French 11th Army. In early 1918, the division experienced fighting and fierce gas attacks. And in April, the famed 104th Infantry were awarded for their gallant conduct, driving out a well-defended German force at Apremont. 104th of the 26th was awarded the Croix de Guerre. The 26th Infantry Division, Yankee Division, was the first to receive this honor from the French government. Later that month, there was a fierce attack at Seicheprey, and it saw the 102nd Infantry and the 102nd Machine Gun Battalion hold their positions against a fierce German attack. The defenders suffered many casualties, but the enemy was stopped before reserve positions were reached. Major campaigns included the Anne-Marne Offensive, which is the Chateau Thierry Offensive, which was a joint attack in which the 26th played a crucial role in able to secure 17.5 kilometers of territory. And the Saint-Mihiel Offensive on the Rupp sector. At 1 a.m., a massive bombardment began for 35 miles of front, and this was supported by the Yankee Division. And of course, the Yankee Division, which took part in the fierce fighting at the Battle of Verdun. During the course of World War I, the division suffered 10,701 casualties, of which 1,850 members of the division were killed. In the interwar period, a reorganization took place between 1919 and 1921 as members of the Yankee Division returned home. And in 1930, in the 1930s, Camp Edwards was established, named after Clarence Edwards, thus a significant YD Yankee Division connection to the camp. In addition to the units training at their armories, Camp Edwards was utilized for annual training. And with the outbreak of World War II, the site was heavily improved in 1941 with construction of barracks and sustainment buildings, which began in mid-1940. And it was here that the famed 26YD was once again ordered into federal service and assembled. Unlike the previous war, the YD did not jump into combat at once. For several years, the division was part of the Zone of Interior Security, and much of the 26th patrolled the coasts of the eastern United States. By 1942, the mission changed, and elements of the YD were training at posts in the southern U.S., like A.P. Hill Military Reservation in Fredericksburg, Virginia. In 1942 and 1943, the division continued to move around the southern U.S. until it departed for Europe from Camp Shanks, New York, arriving in Normandy several months after the invasion. From there, the division fought German forces across France and Belgium, taking part in the famous Battle of the Bulge, and in smaller actions across Germany and into Austria and Czechoslovakia, where hostilities ceased. In 210 days of action, the division participated in 4 major events, in which there were 19,516 casualties, of which 1,714 were killed. After the war, the 26th was not called up for the Korean War, and this was because a lot of the leadership insisted that if you were going to use Massachusetts units or use units from the Yankee Division, you had to call up the entire division. There was no picky-choosy of what units were going to be sent. And at this, the 26th is remembered really for World War I, World War II, and those actions. But, as a National Guard division, I think it kind of overshadows their home service as well. And this was an action the division continued to answer, a call the division continued to answer in 1953 when a powerful tornado struck Worcester and help arrived from the YD within an hour to search for victims and survivors. In 1955, 57, 58, the units of the division responded to hurricanes and floods, and in one instance, the division was returning home from annual training at then Camp Drum, only to at once report to their armories and go into action. In 1967, there was a major reorganization of the force structure due to the Vietnam War. This was done to increase combat readiness. Some units were inactivated, while others received an increase of manpower. Some units also received more funds and newer equipment. Luckily, the YD didn't suffer much from this, but the 2nd Brigade was inactivated, while the 1st and 3rd Brigade remained in Massachusetts. The 43rd Brigade of the Connecticut National Guard became part of the 26th Division. As time went on, another reorganization took place. Right here on Camp Edwards, which is so rich in YD history, the 26th had its headquarters from 1988 to 1993. And it was in 1993 that the YD, the 26th Infantry Division, the Yankee Division, was inactivated due to a reduction of force, in which 10 Army divisions were inactivated, 2 of which were National Guard divisions. The 50th Division of New Jersey, the New Jersey National Guard, and the famed 26th Division. The ceremony in which the inactivation order was read was held on Boston Common, and the division colors were furled. At that moment, at that ceremony, there were veterans of the 26th that were there. Some didn't even want to attend. It was painful to see the 26th inactivated. And while the 26th is not active today, I want to invite you all to visit the Massachusetts National Guard Museum located at 91 Everett Street in Concord, Massachusetts, where you can actually see those colors that were furled in 1993 of the division, and you can experience and celebrate the 26th Division at our museum armory. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. How's that sound? Pretty good? So for years, I've been saying that our Otis Memorial Park really is about 200 people, 200 plus people. And thanks to the research and John of learning about the 26th Yankee Division, I now know it's in excess of 2,000 people. So even though we see the stone, and it's the last one on the right, that says the American Division, even though we see that, there's a lot of people behind that and a lot of families. And what's wonderful about you being here today is we agree that their memory, their courage, their work should not be forgotten. And that's true for all of the members we have. We added that, Charlie. Do you want to gather the kids and we have our next song? Do you want to bring them out there? Okay. So I drafted them into the curtain. While I'm there, I would like to add something that I found amazing about the 26th Yankee Division. Just one story, one short story that I learned. I always grew up with it. There are many stories about the Yankee Division's courage and determination, and I want to share one that happened in May of 1945. It was the 26th Yankee Division with the 11th Armored Tank Division that overran Gusen concentration camp. It was here where the Nazis used inmates as forced labor to make tunnels underground to enable the production of aircraft materials. The Germans were aware they would soon be overrun by the Allied troops. They devised a plan to demolish the tunnels with all the prisoners inside. That was their goal. Through the courage and swift work of the 26th Yankee Division, coupled with the 11th Armored Tank Division, this awful plan never happened. Both units moved much quicker than the Germans anticipated and they surprised the Germans before they could initiate their awful plan. By moving swiftly, the Yankee Division and the 11th Armored Tank Division saved many lives. They liberated and saved the lives of sick, starving camp prisoners by providing food, clothing, and medical aid. Now, certainly I don't have the knowledge, John, that you do. These are the stories that we have to continue to tell about all branches, because they're there. So with that, call upon the Warren Middle School Select Choir and they will entertain us with America the Beautiful.
Beautiful for spacious skies, forever waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties, of love, love rooted plain. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream, the seas beyond the years, thine alabaster cities gleam, turned by human tears. America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining
Once again, thank you for that was wonderful song. Before we place memorial wreaths, you'll hear a couple four short synopses about the stones highlighted this year. John and Colonel Porter mentioned about the American Division. There's four others that we highlight. We will be placing a memorial wreath at each of these stones in a few minutes. First stone is Colonel Williams, Colonel Frank P. Williams, MD. The stone is over there, it's in the red. Colonel Williams was the organizer and commanding officer of the 101st Medical Unit for the 26th Yankee Division of Massachusetts National Guard. Dr. Williams had the distinction of being the Surgeon General of Massachusetts National Guard from 1913 to 1933. In his obituary in the New York Times, it stated, Dr. Williams was born in Weymouth and was a graduate of Harvard Medical School in 1897. In 1906, he was appointed hospital steward of the 2nd Brigade Massachusetts Volunteer Militia. On March 22nd, 1916, he went to the Mexican border as a lieutenant colonel in the Medical Corps, and he held the same rank when he went overseas with the 26th Yankee Division. He served as a sanitary inspector for the 1st Army Corps and was inspector for the British Expeditionary Forces. He was appointed to the command of Méves Hospital Center, the first reconstruction camp built in France by the United States. It became the largest hospital center in the world with 40,000 beds. He remained in charge until the hospital closed in February 1919. The officers and men of the 101st They presented that plaque in his memory. Next up, First Lieutenant Gilbert B. Pellin, U.S. Air National Guard. The First Lieutenant Gilbert Pellin, and his is the stone to the left of Dr. Williams, was a pilot for the 101st Fighter Squadron as part of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. He died on August 25th, 1919, the result of an aircraft accident. Indications are he was performing a dive bombing run near Monomoy Point in South Chatham and was unable to pull his aircraft up before crashing. In front of us is the 50th anniversary of the Massachusetts Air National Guard. It celebrates their work from 1947 to 1997. It's 50 years of amazing success by the U.S. Air Force and Air National Guard in its key role to protect and defend our country via their command of skies. Within that time span, there have been numerous successes and tragedies. On this Otis Memorial Park, we have 22 memorial stones. 11 of them reflect the Air Force or the Air National Guard. They're honoring those, yet the significance of the Air Force effort and work is good reason to celebrate and continues. At the head of the walkway is a stone entitled, "From These Honored Dead." And this is a stone created by the citizens of Massachusetts in honor of those who serve our country, who through hard work, if you will, the Bill Belichick phrase, doing their job, they never came back safely. There's two parts of that plaque that absolutely move my soul, and they are the following. This memorial received its impetus from the tragic events here recorded, but no record of dates, events, or even the names of these Americans involved can bear adequate witness to the significance of their sacrifice and its meaning to mankind. And to those men and women who serve on this base now and at other bases, this is still true. This is still true. And it concludes at the bottom of it, in a larger sense, therefore, this memorial speaks to us not only of those whose names are here set forth, but also of the continuing, unheralded, yet essential sacrifices made and still to be made by all who accept their responsibility to duty, to honor, to country. And that was established at the head of it, and that's in 1969. Think about this. We established it in 1969, and we have stones memorializing people from World War I. You learn that you can influence the world by what you do today, right here, right now. We're here to validate that. So those are 4 other stories to go with the American Division. Each year we've been trying to tell the story. The goal is to take the stories and put them on the QR codes and on the white posts so that for all guests, visitors, those inspired about service to country, curious, can go and learn why we gather every year here to honor. So with that, I now call upon our military leaders and former OCAC presidents to present our wreaths. I ask you all to please stand. They will march to the appropriate memorial stone. We will hear the call of the rifle team to honor those memories and those sacrifices, taps, and then the cry of the piper.
Detail, prepare your flag. Detail, present the ring.
Prepare to honor our fallen.
You may be seated. Thank you for that procession, that work. That's what respect, honor look like, feel like. Thank you. I have some final comments. The way we're going to wrap up our program is the following. I'd like to say a few comments, followed by the benediction from Chaplain Henkel, Miranda, and then we end with May the Road Rise Up by the Bourne Middle School Choir. So, Again, thank you so much for attending today's program. Thank you for modeling behavior, for showing that we haven't forgotten. Establishing the Memorial Park in 1969 became the first major project for the Otis Civilian Advisory Council. Our fathers understood then, as we do today, how important it is to remember and honor those who died while in the line of duty protecting our shores and country. Thank you to our participants, the military, the commanders, our musicians, singers, piper, bugler, our rifle team, the Bourne Cable TV, and our helpers. So I'd like to acknowledge or ask the members of the who are present from the Otis Civilian Advisory Council if you would stand up and be recognized. Last Saturday, over 21 people showed up and helped get rid of winter's scars. So I really appreciate your help. On the back of our program are a list of beneficiaries, if you will, patrons who help us run this program each year. And so if you can, take a look there where appropriate, please help support them. Thank you to the memory of volunteers who dressed up the park in advance of today's ceremony. And a special thanks to Kathy Johnson, Bonnie Jacquard, Claire McGowan for your advanced lead work up at the Eagle's Nest. To Alice Dowd and Margie Ford for securing the ribbons on our posts. They did that yesterday, and what I learned as a male, their plan worked much better than mine. So it's taken me a while, but I've learned to listen. To Perry and Paula Davis for all things related with the Bourne Middle School in securing this wonderful choir. And thank you to Charlie Baird and Jonathan Weir and to the students to have you here. Your voices, thank you so much for being present with us. To the Bourne local cable, I told you they would be moved by your work. To the Bourne local cable TV for recording today's ceremony. Now their goal is to have it available at bournetv.com on Memorial Day. So in the event that you fell asleep when I was speaking, you can go and look at it. So we conclude today's ceremony with the final blessing from Chaplain Miranda, a final song from the beautiful choir, May the Road Rise Up. I ask you to please stand as we reverently close our ceremony. Chaplain Miranda.
Please join me in a moment of closing. Please join me in a moment of reflection as we close the ceremony. As we depart from this place of remembrance, let us carry the spirit of this day in our hearts. Go forth with gratitude for the airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines, Coast Guards, men, and guardians who answered the call, "Here I am, send me." Go forth with resolve to ensure that the lives given for a future worth building were not offered in vain. Go forth with compassion for the families who continue to bear the cost of freedom, that they may find lasting comfort and healing. Go forth with honor for those who have passed, keeping the courage alive in our memories and the service forever in our death. May the strength that sustained our service members now sustain us as we strive to live lives worthy of the sacrifice. May we always remember, may we always honor, and may we always be grateful. Amen. Amen.